This is Thriving Thoughts, a podcast that teaches you how to change your thoughts so you can change your life. I'm Dr. Sherri, clinical psychologist turned thought coach. In each 5-minute episode of the Thriving Thoughts podcast, we will discover one lie we believe about ourselves, others, or the world that lures us into a surviving mindset. Then we'll learn the truth that leads us into a thriving thought world. And to bridge the gap between knowing and doing, I'll teach you one practical thought tool you can start to use right away. Consider me your personal thought coach, and each episode your personal thought coaching session. I want you to thrive, to grow, flourish, and prosper. And here's your first truth. If you want to thrive, you have to choose to do the work. The daily deliberate work of changing the way you think so you can change your life. Welcome to the Thriving Thoughts community. Let's get ready to speak truth over the lies so we can thrive in any and every circumstance. What's your greatest fear? The threat that crosses your mind unbidden, the fear that takes your breath away and leaves you crying out, I don't know what I'd ever do if. What is the thing you believe you wouldn't be able to handle? Oddly, we choose to keep ourselves in suspense rather than prepare our minds by considering it. That fear is contrary to our future vision and simultaneously exemplary of that which is outside our control, our future. So we say, I can't think about that. We believe the lie that if we don't think about it, it won't happen. The truth is you can think about it. If you want to be honest with yourself, the first pillar of a thriving thought world, change it to I won't think about that. If you won't, it's because you don't believe yourself to be mentally equipped to think about it. And when we don't think about that fear, it continues to wield power over us. That keeps us in a surviving thought world. To think about your fear doesn't mean to dwell on it. This isn't about creating fantastical scenarios in your mind and ruminating on them. It's about facing fear and using it to fortify yourself mentally and emotionally. I like to call it answering your what ifs. Let's go back to the beginning. What is the thing you just don't know what you'd do if it happened? Being abandoned by a significant other, being betrayed by a friend, laid off or fired, getting sick, losing someone you love to accident or disease, going bankrupt, being unable to pay your bills, being alone forever. If you've been waiting for a sign to face your fear or fears, this is it. It's time to stop lying to yourself and convincing yourself that you're incapable of handling whatever life might throw at you. Start speaking the truth that you are capable of thriving, and do that by answering your what ifs. If that thing you fear were to happen, how might you feel? How might you think? What might you do? 2 years before I went through my relationship breakup, I began the work of thriving. Here's how it showed up in my life and how it prepared me for a breakup I never knew would happen. A friend of mine had just gone through an unexpected and feared breakup. We met for lunch and she asked me, what would you do if you and your boyfriend broke up? After a moment, I shared 2 things with her. One, I acknowledged the truth by answering my what ifs. I thoughtfully replied, I would be so sad. I would question a lot of things about myself and others. I would definitely grieve. My heart would be broken. I then added, teaching my brain what to believe about myself, and I would be okay. 2 years later, when my breakup did occur, it was awful. I was so sad. I did begin to grieve, and still grieving in new ways, by the way. My heart was shattered. There were dark spaces I navigated. Yes, I questioned so much about myself. And I am okay. I'm better than okay because I chose to learn through the trauma of that relationship breakup. I've uncovered so many lies I believed about my worth, and I've replaced them with truth. You see, I unknowingly prepared myself for thriving through that trauma, so I wrote a book all about it. You can get your copy today on Amazon. It's called Breakup Breakthroughs, Asking and Answering the Hard Questions So You Can Thrive in the Trauma of a Relationship Breakup by me, Dr. Sherri Yoder. It's my gift of vulnerability to you, part experience, part growth concepts, and part journal for you to ask and answer the hard questions. I've been told, by the way, that Breakup Breakthroughs is a valuable guide to invite you to thrive through any loss, not just that of a breakup. Don't perpetuate the lie that you're fragile and incapable of overcoming challenges by saying, I just don't know what I'd ever do if. Change the narrative. Speak the truth. I am capable of dealing with fear. I am capable of processing grief. I am capable of problem solving. When changes come my way, I am capable of thriving in any and every circumstance. Share the love and share the show by tagging at Dr. Speaks on your Instagram story and using the hashtag Thriving Thoughts with Dr. Sherri. Thanks for being here, friends. Keep speaking truth over the lies, and you will thrive in any and every circumstance.